do you get if you mix the Lord of the Rings universe with gameplay that's similar to Diablo, but it's on the Game Boy Advance? You get Lord of the Rings Return of the King from EA Games, and I gotta say, they did a really good job here. This is not a super powerful system, and they pulled a lot out of this thing. I mean, the audio is very tight, the graphics look good, you've got reflections in some of the water as you're passing by. What's interesting about this is that it's one of those beat 'em up and collect kind of games where there's tons of stuff to gather, like new swords and new armor. You also get 6 different characters to play, and every character has their own skill sets, their own abilities. Of course, you got big battles with Saruman and lots of really cool enemy boss creatures that you come across. I think the only kind of complaint that I have about this game is that you collect so much stuff, but you've only got 8 slots in your backpack. So you're constantly having to just throw away stuff. You can also connect it to the EA Lord of the Rings Return of the King game that they made for the GameCube. If you're a fan of the movies, a fan of Lord of the Rings, you're going to love this one. 9.5 out of 10. Okay, we're back, and we're going to be talking now about a game that Tommy's been bugging me to review for a long time. It's called Intellivision Lives. I had the 2600 in the ColecoVision. I never had the Intellivision, never grew up with it, didn't have any fond memories of it. Tommy did, though. He had all the games, loved the thing.
As a matter of fact, I still have my Intellivision hooked up to my big screen TV.
Right, and he'll probably be playing that a lot more.
Hell yeah.
This PlayStation 2 disc, even though this disc does have a lot of cool things to offer Intellivision fans. It has 60 games.
60 games.
All built right onto the thing.
Including a lot of hard-to-get games that were really difficult to get at the time, and even a section of games that never even came out.
What they've also included, there's some historically significant kind of interviews and a history of Intellivision.
But the problem there, of course, is that the 2 movies that they have, the quality isn't up to par.
No,
we'll be nice about it and say that. Now, I know what all you Intellivision fans out there are thinking to yourself, hey, this is great. I can get all my old favorite Intellivision games on one CD. And I mean, they got all the great games on there. Baseball, football, skiing, boxing. They even have Frog Bog.
Frog Bog. This is the way that Tommy described Frog Bog to me, okay? You're a frog. You're in a bog. You got to jump and get the flies.
Lick the flies.
Lick the flies and not fall in the water.
That's it. That's
now, does that sound like a video game to you, or what?
They even have Utopia on there.
Oh, yeah,
now, for the people who know what I'm talking about, this was the definitive first time RTS. Here's the problem, is that you can't play any of these games, because what they did is, instead of the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they had the enter and the reset thing, they put that on the right analog stick. So you're saying to yourself, okay, that could possibly work. So you hit the direction, but then you have to hit the R1 button as well. You just can't play Intellivision games on those controllers.
I will be the first to, I've been joking around a lot about the value of this package, but if you're an Intellivision fan, or you're a video game historian, or a completist, you're going to find some value in this thing.
I don't think so, because the games are unplayable.
Yeah, but
you can't play them on the controller.
It collects them all into one package.
I love the attempt at bringing it to the system. I love the idea, the concept. The games are just unplayable.
Yep.
I unfortunately have to give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm giving it a higher mark than you because I am one of those kind of video game collectors, and I love the video game nostalgia. Lots of problems with this disc. But if you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to find value in it. On the positive side, 60 games are collected on this disc, and there are also some historically significant interviews to discover.
On the negative side, because you don't have the keypad, a lot of these games are just unplayable. If you're a modern-day gamer and you've never experienced Intellivision as a child, you'll probably want to stay away. And although it's cool to see all these old-school Intellivision interviews, the quality kind of makes them unwatchable.
Okay, today in Hardware we're going to talk about a brand new peripheral from Sony. It's called the iToy, and this is a USB camera that plugs into your PlayStation 2 and allows you to interact with games built specifically for the console.
You can look at this peripheral and really get a sense of where the video game industry could possibly be going.
You throw the game disc in, and it automatically knows where everything is. You can adjust the focus on there, and it works perfectly. Everything's calibrated very nicely within the game.
One of the problems you will have, though, is the lighting thing.
You do need to adjust for the lighting.
You have to make sure that there's a lot of light on the subject.
There are no controllers in the software that the iToy comes with. You don't play with the PlayStation 2 controller.
You are the controller.
And what they've done is they've included 12 mini games that you can play.
None of the games on the disc are brilliant.
Right.
But the technology is so fun, and you see it for the first time. My favorite game was the fireworks game, Rocket
Rumble?
Yeah.
Right.
Where these rockets get shot up into the air, and you have to touch the same colors, and then you have plungers down at the bottom, so you're like in control of this fireworks display, and you get more points for linking together stuff.
It's like Fanavision, which was one of the PlayStation 2 launch games.
Except fun.
But this one's good, yeah. I like the Kung Fu game where you've got all these little karate guys.
Attack them.
Yeah, ninjas popping out.
You have to break boards. Now there's another rumor out there that states that the iToy technology is actually going to be put in the PlayStation 3.
So it'll come bundled in the box?
So we might see a lot more of these iToy type situations in video games.
You gonna recommend it?
Absolutely gonna recommend it. If I were to score this, I'd give it a 9.
I'm gonna recommend it as well, and the games are cool. I don't know how much you go back to them. I'd score the games at about a 7.5, but I'm definitely recommending the iToy.
On the positive side, this is one of the most innovative technologies to come out of video gaming in a long time. The games, although very simple, are pretty fun to play, especially with a bunch of people. And the technology is really seamlessly integrated into the machine, and the calibration on it is really well done.
On the negative side, the games are a little bit thin and will get repetitive very quickly. You definitely have to have a good light source on the subject if you want to see yourself on TV. And you've got to make sure that you've got room to flail your arms around. Stick around. ESPN, NBA, and NBA Live go head-to-head after this.